Okay, here we go. So, hi Miguel. Today we're going to be looking at the first conditional. Hello Alina! Looking at the first conditional. I know Alina was looking for conditionals. So this is going to be up on YouTube, okay, English with Vikki. If you want to review it before your exam or any point in the future, it's all going to be on YouTube. So don't forget to have a look at it there. We're going to talk today, so the topic is the first conditional, and we're also going to, today's story is going to be about the word crack. Okay, crack, and I hope now, JC, that I'm not going to get blocked or anything for mentioning this word, because it does have different meanings. So I'm going to go through today the meaning of this word in Irish English, English, Dutch, and in Spanish, because all four countries use this word really differently. And I'm going to tell you a little story about how I actually got in trouble with this word, so it is something we have to be careful with. So the first topic, the first conditional. So today I'd like to talk about, to start off, I want to begin with an old Chinese proverb. I found this. Hello Lamai, what's cracking? Yeah, that's an example. What's cracking? I think it's more, what's the crack, no? And maybe we would say, what's cooking? What's cooking or what's the crack? At least in Ireland. I saw this proverb and I really wanted to show you. And when we do speaking at the end, I'm going to ask you your opinion. This was what I saw. It says, a crooked tree lives its own life, but a straight tree is turned into wood. I saw it the other day with an image. I don't have the image here now, but it really resonated with me. I don't know if you guys know what this means or what it means for you. I thought it was so cool. So a crooked tree is like a tree that grows kind of like this. This is crooked, okay? When something is not straight, it's crooked. So a crooked tree lives its own life, but a straight tree is turned into wood. Hello, Alina. Hey, you wanted to know about the trip? The trip was amazing. I can show you a picture. We have a lot to get through today, so I don't want to delay too much. The trip was really, really good. I was, when I finished, one guy came up to me and he said, hey, you were 6'7". Hey, JC. Hey, Cassia. He said, you were 6'7". And I was like, what? He was like, you were 6'7". And you know this joke that people have with 6'7", that all the cool kids are speaking about. And I thought, really? Maybe we were a bit old to make this joke about 6'7". But so then he said, no, you were 6th or 7th. So it's true. In the end, I was 6th in the women's. It means whatever. Yeah, it means like nothing. So this is me, my brother, and my mom there at the end. So yeah, there's my mom, there's my brother, and well, you know this person. So it was really cool. The imagery, the scenery was kind of like this. Can you see? It was so cool, look. Yeah, it was so nice. Hey Barbie! And this was more like a part of the trail. You can see one guy there running. And look, we had views of the ocean the whole time. Honestly, the weather could not have been better. Thanks, Alina! Yeah, it was cool. This was the medal. So it says like beast, if I can zoom a bit maybe. Beast of Beara was the name of the thing, because it was a beast, you know. And I think I have one, yeah I do. This was like the top of the third peak, so it says peak 3 was 306 meters. Thanks Barbie! Yeah, so it was, look, you can see we were up pretty high. Look, it's really nice. Thanks JC! Yeah, it was in total 718 meters of elevation. It was pretty cool. But I have a friend from running, and he does a lot of trails, and he gave me like really excellent advice, and I decided to follow his advice, and it was on point. Absolutely on point, you know. So it was really cool. I would like to do more, you know. It was my first half marathon trail, so yeah, it was really cool. I'm glad I went. Cassia, I wish I swam in the ocean. Oh my gosh, we went swimming when we were waiting for my mom to finish. We went into the water, and over there in the west coast of Ireland, it was diabolical. It was so cold. Like, and I don't mind cold water, eh? I can do a cold plunge or whatever. It was really cold. And not only that, there were giant jellyfish, like jellyfish as big as my head in the water. So there wasn't a lot of swimming. I went in and it was good for the legs after the run, you know. But it was really cold and very big jellyfish. So it was not ideal. But yeah, okay. Yeah, JC, exactly, diabolically cold. I haven't used that word for a while now. That's probably because I was in Ireland last week. Words like diabolical are coming to me. Diabolical is not a bad word, guys. Okay, it's not foul language. We use it a lot in Ireland. It just means like horrendously or very, very bad. Diabolical. And you can say as well to a person like, oh my gosh, you're diabolical. If they tell like a really dirty joke or something, you know. Kasia, I don't know. Kasia, where are you from? Are you from Poland? I think maybe because the temperatures of the water, it's interesting. But I went swimming in Ireland like a few days before, but closer to Cork. And you're from Poland, yeah. But it wasn't that cold, you know. It wasn't that cold. And then when we went to the west of Ireland, it was definitely a few degrees colder, eh? I was surprised. It was for sure a few degrees colder up there. Oof. Yeah, that is good. The sun was out. Like I said, the sun, like I have never seen Ireland looking so beautiful. It was just gorgeous. If you have good weather in Ireland, it's a stunningly beautiful place. If you have bad weather, you can only go to the pub. And I'm not sure if I should mention, thanks for asking, Alina. I'm not sure if I should mention the match. Did you guys see the match on Sunday? Yeah, I watched the match in the pub. In a pub in Ireland with my mom and my brother. It was a good match. Very intense, wasn't it? Yeah, Alina, it was pretty intense. You know? Yeah, anyway. Probably won't comment too much on that because we could start a fight. So, JC, Ireland is a beautiful place with or without makeup. Do you think Ireland, are you using makeup as like a metaphor for good weather? If you are, I totally disagree. I think Ireland, yeah. I think Ireland is abysmal if there is without makeup. I think if the weather is bad in Ireland, I think it's abysmal. I think it is just horrendous, diabolical, you know. Hello, Mim Diop. Hello. Okay. Ireland, I think, is one of the worst places to be. If the abysmal, I think it's atrocious. Okay, Ireland is an atrocious place to be if the weather is bad, and I will die on that hill. Okay. So, well, let's move on from my quote here. Okay. So, what is the first conditional, right? So the first conditional is used to describe real and possible future situations, okay? The key word here being possible, and it must be the future. So obviously you can't use this when we're speaking about the past. Unlike the zero conditional, which expresses facts and general truths, the first conditional predicts what will happen if a particular condition is fulfilled. Nice verb here for you, to fulfill. The condition is realistic, very important. Keyword realistic. The keyword is realistic. So it must be something realistic. So for example, I'm not going to say if I win the lottery, because this is not realistic. This is unrealistic. I'm a positive person, but winning the lottery is, 1 in a billion. So I'm not going to use the lottery with the first conditional. The condition must be something realistic. Okay? Mim Diop, this lesson is about the first conditional in English. Okay? So it may happen, but it is not guaranteed. Okay, it's not guaranteed like the zero conditional. So the basic structure is if plus present simple with will plus infinitive, or will infinitive if plus present simple. And I wanted to say here. Yeah, because it has the present simple, I think this is why it gets confused a lot with the zero conditional, because we use the present simple in both, I think. If the weather is abysmal, I will stay home. Then you're going to be staying home 360 days of the year, JC. Okay, mimmed up. Thank you. If clauses, yeah, basically if clauses, exactly, mimmed up. Yeah. Okay, examples. If the committee reaches a unanimous decision, the proposal will be implemented immediately. I love this here, unanimous, a unanimous decision. The proposal will be implemented immediately. If the negotiations conclude successfully, both organizations will establish a long-term strategic partnership. If inflation continues to decline, central banks will probably reduce interest rates later this year. JC, being a Caribbean guy, I loved it though. JC, are you from the Caribbean? I thought you were Spanish. I'm lost there, I can't remember. You let me know. If you're Nicaragua, I was going to say Nicaragua, I thought I was confused, you're from Nicaragua, I know. But like, how can you possibly, like, I think you like the weather in Ireland because you haven't spent enough time there, JC. I think that's the issue. But you were in Norway. The weather in Norway is better. I've never been to Norway, but for sure the weather in Norway is better than the weather in Ireland, for sure. Cassia, if I improve my speaking, you're missing I, if I improve my speaking, I will participate in the meeting. That's it, Cassia. If I improve my speaking, I will participate in the meeting. That's it. Good job. If the allegations prove to be accurate, now guys, I like this for you. Look, prove to be. You can take a note of that. If the allegations prove to be accurate, the minister will resign before the end of the investigation. I'm resisting the temptation to make a political joke now with that. Okay, notice something very important. Although the sentence refers to the future, the verb after if is always in the present simple. So, if the conference attracts sufficient international investment, the organization will expand overseas. Okay? And it's not going to be if the conference will attract. No, we use the present simple even though it's for the future. If the conference attracts sufficient international investment, the organization will expand. Okay? We don't use will in the same clause as if. This is one of the most common mistakes that people make. Okay, so the if clause introduces the condition. The main clause expresses the future consequence. Yeah, English does not need will after if because the future is already expressed in the main clause. Lamai, Miss JC's example sounds off to me. If the weather is or if the weather were. Lamai, okay, I like how you said his example seems off. That's really advanced. Guys, if you saw what Lamai put in the comments there, it's very good English. It sounds off to me. So like something not quite right. So if we go back to JC's, if the weather is abysmal, I will stay home. JC's example is correct because he's using the first conditional. It is correct. If you use was or were, Lamai, you would be using the second conditional, which is a hypothetical situation. So I think you're mixing up there the second conditional with the first conditional. That's the issue. Hey, thanks, Cassia. Yeah, that's the issue, Lamai. There's a second conditional video. If you weren't here, we did the second conditional last week. The video's on YouTube, English with Vikki. That's the issue. Gerson, teacher, can you teach relative clauses? Albert, yeah, we did relative clauses last week or 2 weeks ago. The video's on YouTube. The video's on English with Vikki. You can type English with Vikki, relative clauses. We did it 2 weeks ago, I think. Lamai, the weather is abysmal. We wouldn't need to express that as a condition. But he said if the weather is abysmal, didn't he? He said, if the weather is abysmal. Yeah, he said, if the weather is abysmal, I will stay at home. So he did express it as a conditional. Now who is off? JC, don't be mean, guys, to each other. By the way, okay, we already know the weather is abysmal, therefore I'll stay home. Exactly. So, well, no, it would be like, if you're speaking about making a plan tomorrow, and JC's friend said, hey, JC, what are you doing tomorrow? And he says, if the weather is abysmal, tomorrow I will stay at home. But if the weather is not abysmal, maybe I will go out. That's what he wants to say. Hey, Saska, what's up? Albert, teacher, I want to improve my writings like essays, letters of application. That's awesome, Albert. That's cool. Okay. Zero conditional versus first conditional. Where is Guerrera? She's okay because she definitely sent a few comments today and a few messages, so I know that she's okay. Why can I understand you everything, but to native is really difficult? Because some people don't know how to speak correctly. Maybe some people are totally unaware of how to have a conversation, you know? People just speak and speak and speak and speak and speak and speak and speak, and they don't look at who they are speaking to check if they are following the conversation. So this is a cultural problem. I think it happens everywhere. People don't communicate very well. That's probably why. Lamai, I missed the last part. What part do you miss, Lamai? Alina, why are you laughing? Okay. JC, your sentence sounded... Oh, no, sorry, I've zoomed up, have I? JC, your sentence sounded off to me. Actually, okay. Especially when I watch films. Albert, if you're saying, when I watch films, it's really hard, don't watch films, watch a series. In my case, when I know I can speak Spanish, but I couldn't understand the Colombian accent. So I went on Netflix, I think it was, and I found a series filmed in Colombia that had like 10 seasons, and I watched like 100 episodes with the same actors from the same country using the same vocabulary. And after 100 episodes, now I'm totally comfortable with the Colombian accent. But you need to break it down. If you want to watch learn the Irish accent or the Canadian accent, you need to watch a full series. One movie isn't enough, in my opinion. That's what I would do, Albert. Hello, Irina. Mimmed up. I would like to join your team for improving my English. You're living in Senegal. Of course you can. Of course you can join. Albert, especially when I watch films. Yeah, well, okay, Albert, I would watch series. And hello, George Sands. What's up? Let me see. Alina, I agree with the fact that most people can't speak their native language correctly. I thought that was what you were laughing at, Alina. I thought that was what you were laughing at. It's so sad. It's so sad, you know? And people are also really intolerant when others are speaking their second or third language, which is really ironic because somebody who only speaks one language isn't tolerant of a person who speaks 2, 3, 4, 5 languages. It's stupid. I can tell you a million stories about this. I remember I was in Seville, in Spain, many years ago, and the person I was with, they wanted an ice cream. So they went into the ice cream parlor and they were speaking with the girl. And the girl didn't speak English. And the girl didn't understand this guy. And this guy is like, he speaks English, but he has like a very strong Irish, Southern Irish accent. And the girl didn't understand what he was saying. And he got really angry. And after, he said to me, my goodness, can you imagine in this day and age a person not speaking English? I was so embarrassed, and this is many years ago, but I knew that this was totally wrong, you know? And I thought, well, you are in Spain, you don't speak Spanish, you know, plus the way you are speaking, how is anybody going to understand you? And it's funny because the same person, they have friends in another English-speaking country, and the friends from the other English-speaking country also find it difficult to understand this man. You know, so yeah, no, people are really ignorant, unfortunately, and they cause a lot of harm. Because if you speak to somebody who's learning a language, you can make them feel like a complete fool, and maybe they're going to stop trying to learn the language or become more shy, you know. It's very sad. Albert, but I think you're a native English speaker. You're an expert. Well, I have a master's degree in teaching English, Albert. This is true. English as a foreign language, yes. And I'm a native speaker. I'm Irish, so I'm not English. Ina, I'm Irish. I see, but I think, let me see. Thank you, Irina. Albert, I wish I were you, a native speaker. This is a really good second conditional. Albert, I'm Irish. Yes, I'm Irish. Exactly. Don't wish you were you. You just be the best you can be. And I'm going to do the same. Where are you from, Albert? So, students often confuse these two structures because both use the present simple after if. The difference is the meaning. So, compare. If governments invest in education, economic productivity generally increases. So this is a zero conditional because it expresses a general truth. Now compare. If the government increases investment in education next year, economic productivity will improve significantly. So in that one, this is the first conditional because it predicts one possible future result. Another example, if employees receive constructive feedback, motivation usually improves. This is a general truth, zero conditional. If our company introduces a mentoring program next year, employee motivation will improve considerably. This is a future prediction. So yeah, ask yourself, am I describing something that is generally true, zero conditional, or something that could happen in the future? All right, let me catch up with you guys. JC, they refer to the language when they say English speaker, not the nationality. Exactly, JC. And honestly, I shouldn't say this. I'm going to say it. I can't help myself. Honestly, for me, like in Spain, they often say like, oh, la inglesa, which is like the English girl or the English woman, you know? And like every time, it doesn't annoy me, but it's actually hurtful because I'm not English. You know, I'm Irish. But because I speak English, people say, oh yeah, the English woman or the English girl, you know? And they don't mean anything by it. And I know that. I'm not offended or something, you know? But it's just like, oh. It's like, imagine if you are Portuguese and somebody says, oh, you are Spanish. Or you are French and somebody insists on saying you're German, you know? Or you're Canadian and people are calling you American. It's just like, well, no, actually. Let me see. Here. You're from Lima, Peru, Albert. That's awesome. You're a native Spanish speaker. That's really cool. Guerrera, there you are. Guerrera, people were asking where you are. We say, la profe de inglés. Yeah, la profe de inglés. The entitlement was disruptive for sure. Yeah, but look, lots of countries did it. You know, maybe if Ireland were a bigger country or something, maybe we would also have done it. I don't know. And apparently Ireland was constantly attacking England so beforehand. So like, I don't know. And in a past life, I don't know. Albert, you look like a native speaker. Okay. Okay. Alina, Vikki, I would take that as a compliment actually. The fact that they're saying I'm English, you would take that as a compliment, really? Yeah, Guerrero, they were looking for you. Albert, yes, teacher, I want to improve my kind of writings. Really like you, I started funny. That's awesome. Cool, Albert. You're welcome to the club. Everybody's welcome. As long as you don't mention hemorrhoids or you are looking for somebody called Carla. No, who said that? I can't remember now what somebody said. Okay, next point. If and when. Although many learners confuse them, if and when are not interchangeable. Okay, they're not interchangeable. So if introduces a possibility, the event may or may not happen. When introduces something the speaker expects to happen. Only the time remains uncertain. So let's compare. If the keynote speaker attends the conference, I'll introduce you afterwards. So that's if he attends, but maybe he's not going to attend. So if he doesn't attend, I can't introduce you. Compare this to when the keynote speaker finishes the presentation, there will be a networking session. So the presentation is already scheduled. The keynote speaker is definitely coming, so the speaker assumes it will happen. Okay? Hey, Miss Tanneman, what's up? Happy Thursday. Albert, my dream is to travel to an English country speaking like UK or Europe in general. That's awesome, Albert. Cool. Another example, if inflation begins to decline, central banks may reduce interest rates. Yeah, right. So decline is only a possibility. When the new legislation comes into force next January, every organisation will have to comply with it. So the legislation has already been approved. At Cambridge C1 level, choosing between if and when often depends on meaning rather than grammar. Thanks, Miss Tanneman. Next one, alternatives to if for the first conditional. English provides several alternatives to if, especially in formal English. Unless was a big one. We spoke a lot about this, guys. The video is on English with Vikki. We spoke a lot about unless with the zero conditional and with the second conditional. So unless means if not. We have to be careful because it already includes not. For example, if the company doesn't diversify its investment portfolio, it won't remain competitive. So you can see here, the not is there. But if I change if to unless, now I don't use not. So I say, unless the company diversifies, so I'm going to say diversifies instead of doesn't diversify. Because now I don't need to use the negative because the negative is already included with the unless. Unless the company diversifies, but I need to put the third person S, its investment portfolio, it won't remain competitive. Never use another negative after unless. So incorrect. Unless the company doesn't diversify. This is in the quiz actually later. Okay, so never use another negative after unless. Sounds strange. You would say unless the company diversifies. Correct. Next one, provided that, it means only if. Only if. So the research grant, we did this as well in a previous video. The research grant will be awarded provided that the proposal demonstrates clear methodological rigor. The application will be accepted provided that all supporting documentation is submitted before the deadline. This structure frequently appears in reports, proposals, and contracts. As long as. This means, also means only if. Maybe this is less formal than provided that, I would say. Albert, I have never traveled abroad. Okay, not yet. I want to be an English teacher. I love English, but I need to improve. That's awesome, Albert. Good job. That's cool. Well, in South America, you have a lot of amazing places to travel to. Lamai, if the company didn't diversify its investment, is it correct, Miss Guerrera? Rigor. That's how I say it anyway. Rigor. Rigor. How would you say? Rigor, or something. Rigor. I say rigor, like it was a rigor. That's what I say anyway. Lamai, I think I see what's happening with you. You are confusing all the time the first conditional with the second conditional, Lamai. because you want to put in the past tense. What we're studying today is the first conditional. There's no past tense, so you cannot use didn't. Okay, you're mixing up, Lamai, the first conditional and the second conditional. I think that's what's happening. Okay, as long as means only if. So as long as all stakeholders remain committed to the agreement, the transition will proceed without significant disruption. You could also say provided that, but again, as long as is like, it's nice, less formal. As long as every department cooperates fully, the merger will be completed successfully. Get another one for you. Merger. Oh, Bloom. You said Lamai. Sorry. Lamai. It's my language, Sinhala. Yeah? What does it mean? I hope it doesn't mean something bad. George Sand, are you watching the comments? I'm not sure. Lamai, because it's Lamay 10. I think that's his name also. What does Lamai mean in your language, Bloom? Merger. Hello, Kenichi. This is when you have two independent companies, and normally for financial reasons or because one buys the other, they merge and they become one company. This is a merger. Okay, Kenichi? Lamai, it's your last name? Okay. Albert, I wish I were you. No, you don't. Kenichi Union, yeah, but in business, right, Guerrera? Lamai means students. Really, Bloom? That's funny. That's a coincidence, isn't it? So you are my Lamai. Kenichi, okay, no problem. May is my last. Okay, to merge, to become one together. Yeah, very good, teacher Tio. That's it. Two independent company fights. Well, yeah, sometimes they fight, sometimes not. Okay, so on condition that this is the most formal alternative. So the organization has agreed to finance the initiative on condition that the projected outcomes are independently evaluated. The license will be renewed on condition that the company complies with all environmental regulations. So things like for you guys, comply with is important. And there was another one up here that I want. Oh yeah, committed to is another one. Like these are all things that we should know. Which preposition we should use with which verb. Yeah, so this expression frequently appears in legal English. Okay, next one. Modal verbs in the main clause. Albert, do you speak English every day? I think in all Europe speak English. Albert, no we don't. In Europe we have a lot of languages. In fact, in Spain we have several different languages also. There are many, many languages in Europe, Albert. English is only spoken in Ireland, England and Malta. Well, England is not in the European Union, but it's in Europe. George Sand, I feel like my brain is growing. That's good, George Sand. Awesome. Irina, you feel like your brain is boiling. What? JC mentioned last week that he thought that he was going to have a stroke. So I hope nobody boils or has a stroke or has hemorrhoids, okay? But in your country, yes. Actually, I live in... Oh, yeah. From teacher to nurse, yeah, okay. I don't think anybody would wish me to be treating them in that condition, Garena. Really, really. Hello, Adriana. Hello, which part of Poland are you in? I want to visit Poland in August. I already told some people. I want to visit Poland in August. So guys, I can take, I think I mentioned it last week. This is my goal. Authentically Khalid, hello. Putu Astra 2, where are you from? I'm Irish. You're from Gdansk. This is on my list. I would like to go there. Bloom, you live in Sweden. That's awesome. I was in Gothenburg many years ago. Hello, Laura. Hello, Madalena. Hey, you're not so late. We're doing the first conditional. Albert, I want to visit Ireland, UK, Russia, Poland, All countries. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Go to Ireland in summer when the weather is good. I think you've mentioned all Northern European countries there. Go to those countries in summer, okay? Binny, you're from Vietnam. I was in Vietnam at Christmas, eh? I was in Hanoi, Da Nang, Saigon, Ho Chi Minh. Vietnam is really cool. I haven't been to Romania yet, Madalena. It's on my list. Yeah, awesome, Laura. You're very welcome. Albert, but it will never happen because I don't have money. Well, you can try to manifest. Never say never, eh? Never say never. Hey, I went to Paraguay, Argentina, and Brazil doing volunteer work. So maybe you can do some volunteer work or something. Okay. Do you like our country food? Yes, I do, Binny. I loved your country's food. Yeah. My bucket list is all over the world. Yeah, me too, Irina. I have quite a few places as well. Okay. So modal verbs in the main clause. The first conditional is not limited to will. Other modal verbs are also common. If you complete the professional certification, you can apply for senior management positions. So here we have used can instead of will. If inflation continues to decline, central banks may reduce interest rates. Okay, so we're using may instead of will. If the allegations prove to be accurate, the minister might resign. So we're using might instead of will. If the symptoms persist, you should seek immediate medical advice. We're using should instead of will. If employees wish to access classified information, they must undergo comprehensive security screening. Really nice one for you advanced guys, undergo. And here we're using must instead of will. Okay? Different modal verbs express different degrees of certainty, possibility, advice, or obligation. Okay? Albert, yeah, volunteering. Yeah, I did volunteer work in Australia. The first time I went to Australia, I was volunteering. I planted trees and I took care of koalas and I did something else. Mostly it was koalas and trees. And in Paraguay, I was teaching yoga and teaching English. So lots of things you can do. JC, I love this part of modal verbs and conditionals. Yeah, me too. It's so useful, isn't it? It's so useful and it's like so real because we use them a lot. Madalena, could you please explain the difference? I knew somebody was going to ask me this. Yes. May is more sure. Might is less sure than may. Okay, so if we're going in a scale, so you have like have to, must, should, ought to, can, may, might. So might is less than may. George Sand, one of the companies using an economical spy. Okay, Albert, no problem. But how do you know when to use one or the other? Sometimes, many times, Madalena, they're interchangeable. I personally never ever, almost never use may. Like never. Like it, I had one colleague from Reading in the UK. So she had quite a traditional, like royal English accent. And she would use may. She would say things like, may I open the window? Or may I have another biscuit? You know, but I never ever say that. Like, so I never use may, honestly. When I was a kid, we would say like, which in Irish, that's Irish for may I go to the toilet. So we would use it sometimes, but otherwise I don't. I use might a lot. Vikki, are you going to the party? I might. It's like maybe I will go. Guerrera, May is also a month, yeah, absolutely. Taurus, yeah. For example, in an exam, many times in an exam it's interchangeable and it doesn't come up in an exam because there's no examination point. They can't, there's no exam that tests the difference between may and might, because there's not really a significant difference. Hello, might is more formal. I think may is more formal, Alina, honestly. I mean, unless I'm saying, might I have another biscuit, but I would never say that in a million years nowadays. Maybe 150 years ago, really posh people would say, might I have another biscuit? But like, I never say that. JC, okay, here we go. JC, I may love you once, time have passed, but I do not think I might due to your lack of love. I may love you. Wouldn't that be, JC? I may have loved you once upon a time, but now I do not love you due to your lack of love for me, or something like that. Madalena, may is formal too. Yeah, I think it's formal. Craic, I thought might had a lower probability than may. Yeah, that's what I was meaning when I did this scale. Would have to, should, can, may, might. That's what I wanted to say. It's lower in the probability. Yes. That's okay, Madalena. Cool. If he had took a key, he would have gone to the restroom. George Sand. You have to hit the restroom. Okay. So now imperatives. We were speaking about this, JC. We were speaking about this with somebody last week. Do you remember? Hyro, was it Hyro was asking about this? He was confused. He was saying, is this zero conditional? But no, it was the first conditional, yeah, with an imperative. And that was why he was confused. So the main clause may also contain an imperative. In the first conditional, the main clause does not always need will. It can also contain an imperative, a command or instruction. The if clause expresses the condition, while the imperative tells someone what to do if that condition is met. Right, if you notice any discrepancies, report them immediately. So if you notice any discrepancies, report them is the imperative. Report them, sit down is the imperative. Okay. You have a good sense of humour, Lamai. It's good. You have a good attitude, eh? If you identify any inconsistencies in the report, notify the research supervisor immediately. If you identify any inconsistencies in the report, notify the research supervisor immediately. There you have your imperative. If any member of the committee raises an objection, address the concern before proceeding with the vote. If any member of the committee raises an objection, address the concern before proceeding with the vote. I'm not being sarcastic. No, I was in Ireland last week, so yeah, and we are very sarcastic. No, I'm not being sarcastic. If I was being sarcastic, I would probably say I'm being sarcastic. Once you see John, tell him I called. Okay, JC, you always have like a little diamond to put in there, no? Once you see John, tell him I called. Nice. Awesome. That's a really good one. Okay. If you require any further clarification, contact admissions office without delay. Brilliant. All right. Okay. I work with lots of Irish. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Irish. We are very sarcastic. They can be really sarcastic. I can be a little bit sarcastic. Guerrera, you can confirm this, but when I'm sarcastic in Spain, nobody understands me. Literally, almost never. In Ireland, we are really sarcastic. I think we're too sarcastic in Ireland. So I think there's a happy middle ground somewhere. This structure is particularly common in professional communication, reports, and formal emails. Okay? This reminds me of the guy looking for Carla. Yeah? Which thing reminds you of the guy looking for Carla? There was a girl looking for Carla, wasn't it? Because finally Carla said, I'm here. I think it was Carla with a C, wasn't it? Whenever you are tired, go to bed. That's a good one. Yeah, whenever you are tired, go to bed. I like it. whenever you get tired, go to bed. Go to bed. I don't know why. Whenever you get tired, whenever you feel tired, whenever you start to feel tired, whenever you get tired, yeah, I'd say go to bed. JC's example. Hang on. Once you see John, okay. Once you see John, tell him I called. Yeah, okay. If you see Carla, tell her I'm looking for her. That's quite funny. Okay, I get it. Every summer, Irish would come to the USA for the summer as G1ers visa. Very good, Lamai, it's true. I know somebody who went. Guys, I know a person who went, I shouldn't say this. I know a person who went to America for the summer. So bad. Anyway, this person went to America for the summer. And she said to her American friends there, she said, first, that in Ireland, because the days are really short, we don't have any Monday. So we only have 6 days in the week. So we go like Tuesday to Sunday. And they believed her. And she also told them that in Ireland, we have 2 moons in the sky. And they also believed her. So that was quite funny. Mira, of course, Mira, if you'd like to participate, we're doing speaking at the end of this live, if you would like to call. Madalena, yeah, true story, eh? These are there, it's true story. Okay, so formal English sometimes replaces if with should. Compare. If you should require any further assistance, please contact us. We can also say, should you require any further assistance, please contact us. So both sentences mean exactly the same thing, but we're just using inversion. We did this in another video as well, guys. You can watch English with Vikki on YT, and we have a few classes on inversion. So should you require. So we take the should and you put it at the beginning. You eliminate if, and you put the subject after should, and that's your inversion, but they mean the same thing. However, the inverted version sounds considerably more formal and frequently appears in official correspondence, contract, and business English. Don't feel bad if your sarcasm is not understood in Spain. I'm not understood most of the time either. Really? Okay, that makes me feel better. But where we could find this contact? Which contact, George Sand? Oh, you're having a private conversation with Irina. There, no? If you took the key, you could go to the restroom. Or if you had taken the key, you would. As long as you're not going to the restroom because you have hemorrhoids, everything is fine. Okay? JC, should there be any problems with grammar, don't hesitate to contact Vikki. Should you have any problems with grammar, don't hesitate to contact Vikki. I would say should you have. Should there be any problems with grammar? Should there be should you have? Because always the person has problems. Should there be any problems with the key? Should there be any problems with the key? Should you have? We'd often say, in that case, like, should you have any problems with the grammar? I would say it sounds, it's good to me. Thank you, Irina. Okay, thank you. Right, so the structure is should plus subject plus bare infinitive. Yeah, that's the thing, JC, you're missing the subject. Should you have? That's why it sounded strange to me. Should demand increase, unexpectedly their additional staff will be recruited. Should the proposal be rejected, the committee will reconsider its recommendations. Some people in Ireland say committee. I think it's so weird. I always say committee, but some people do say committee. They say, I'm on the committee, the committee. Should you experience any technical difficulty? Here you go, JC, this is like your one. You have to put you. Should you experience any technical difficulties, please contact customer support immediately. Notice that we do not use do, does, or did after should. So, should you require assistance, not should you do require assistance. Some grammar checkers, yeah, I noticed this, right? If you're writing on your computer and you have some grammar checkers, like I have Grammarly, for example. JC, should there be any problems? Please let Vikki know if there be any problems. You can't say if there be any problems, let Vikki know. If there are any problems, let Vikki know. Yes. Should there be any problems, let Vikki know. And if there are any problems, let Vikki know. I'm actually going to take a photo of this because I need to check this. It's a really good question. But it can't, you have to say if there are for sure. And should there be any problem? It doesn't sound wrong to me, but it's true that there's no subject. If there are any, yeah, that's okay. So I noticed this and I wanted to tell you, some grammar checkers may underline if you should require because they consider should unnecessary. However, the sentence is completely correct, if you should require. Is simply more formal alternative to if you require. At C1, C2 level, both forms are acceptable, while should you require is the most formal version. So just in case you had that experience with your grammar checker or whatever. Common mistakes is using will after if. No, like if the weather will be good tomorrow, I will go to the beach. No, you say if the weather is good tomorrow. If the negotiations will succeed, no. The merger will proceed, If the negotiations succeed, the merger will proceed. So remember, the verb after if is normally in the present simple, even when we are referring to the future. No subject, I know. I need to check this though, JC, because honestly your example doesn't sound too bad to me. Should there be any problems? It doesn't sound bad, so I actually think I need to check that. Okay. Then, also people confuse if and will, so when the government introduces a new environmental legislation next year, businesses will need to adapt. So this suggests that legislation is certain to happen. If the introduction is only a possibility, use if. Okay? Other main mistake, a double negative with unless. Now this happens all the time. We spoke about it in another class. Guys, if you didn't see this, you can check it on English with Vikki on YT. So unless the organization don't invest, no. You can't have unless and also put the negative here. Okay, it doesn't make sense because the unless, the not is already included with unless. Okay. Then confusing the zero conditional with the first conditional, right? So if consumers lose confidence in the economy, businesses generally reduce investment, it's the zero. If consumers lose confidence in the economy next year, many businesses will reduce investment, future prediction. Okay, Cambridge tip. Cambridge rarely tests the first conditional by asking you to complete a simple sentence, okay, such as if it rains, ... Instead, it usually tests your understanding of meaning. You may have to choose between if, when, unless, provided that, as long as, on condition that. You may also have to choose the correct modal verb. Will, may, might, can, should, must. Here you go, Madalena. Will expresses a high degree of certainty. May indicates genuine possibility, while might suggests weaker, more tentative possibility. So it's both may and might are for possibility, but might is weaker. Can expresses possibility, ability, or permission. Should gives advice or expresses expectation. Must expresses obligation or necessity. Choosing the correct modal changes how certain or strong your statements sound. Okay? Alright. So now we're on to the questions, the quiz questions. You catch it? Inversion with conditional is playing hide and seek. We did inversion with conditional, didn't we? Up there? Well, we did it with the should at least. Okay. So, question 1. The university will approve the research proposal. It satisfies all the evaluation criteria. Did we yet? I lost it. You missed it, not lost it. Lo perdí. I missed it, not I lost it. Okay, the university will approve the research project. Very good, good job. Yeah, well done. If, yeah, or as long as, but it's not an option. Well done, good job. Yeah, well done. Realistic future possibility. Good job, guys. Irina, Kasia, Madalena, well done, George Sands. Well done. Which sentence is grammatically correct? Which sentence is grammatically correct? If inflation continued to decline, interest rates may fall. B, if inflation continued to decline, interest rates may fall. C, if inflation continues to decline, interest rates may fall. Or D, if inflation had continued to decline, interest rates may fall. Good job, guys. Well done. Yeah, Madalena. Sunzi, hello, Sunzi. Guerrera, good job. Cassia, Alina. Jazz. Adriana, well done. Irina, good job. C. If inflation continues to decline, interest rates may fall. Brilliant. Hey, Sunzi. Okay. C. I almost scrolled too fast. I saved it. Okay. Which sentence uses unless correctly? You need more ice on your forehead. Oh my god. Oy, 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 oy. Which sentence uses unless correctly? So A, unless the company diversifies, it won't remain competitive. Oh my god. I've made a small mistake, Hannah. B, unless the company doesn't diversify, it won't remain competitive. C, unless the company will diversify, it won't remain competitive. And D, unless the company diversified, it won't remain competitive. Brilliant, good job. Alina, Cassia, Adriana, Bloommed, good job, well done. It's A. Unless the company diversifies, it won't remain competitive. Brilliant. Madalena, good job, well done. Okay, 4. Which sentence uses provided that correctly? So, A, the application will be accepted provided to submit all supporting documentation before Friday. Hey, JC! Okay, it's cool. The longest one again. Okay. B, the application will be accepted provided all supporting documentation will be submitted before Friday. C, the application will be accepted provided submitting all supporting documentation before Friday. And D, the application will be accepted provided that all supporting documentation is submitted before Friday. Alina, you got it. Well done. Adriana, you got it. D. Good job. The application will be accepted provided that all supporting documentation is submitted before Friday. It's D, guys. It was D. Very well done. 5. Which sentence uses when correctly? So, A, when the board approves the merger next month, the announcement will be made public. B, when the board might approve the merger, the announcement will be made public. C, when the board approved the merger next month, the announcement will be made public. And D, when the board will approve the merger, the announcement will be made public. Good job, guys. Cassia, Guerrera, Irina, Alina, super duper well done. It's A. Brilliant. 6. Which sentence contains an imperative in the main clause? Which sentence contains an imperative in the main clause? A, if you identified any inconsistencies, notify the research supervisor immediately. B, if you identify any inconsistencies, you'll notify the research supervisor immediately. C, if you identify any inconsistencies, notify the research supervisor immediately. Or D, if you had identified any inconsistencies, notify the research supervisor immediately. Okay, let me see. Kasia, Sonzi. Lamai, you have to choose. Okay? Alina, Bloom. Yeah, the answer is C. Good job. If you identify any inconsistencies, notify the research supervisor immediately. Well done. And number 7, which sentence is the most formal? A, if the proposal satisfies the criteria, funding will be approved. B, funding will be approved on condition that the proposal satisfies the criteria. C, funding will be approved as long as the proposal satisfies the criteria. Or D, funding will be approved if the proposal satisfies the criteria. What do we think? Good job. Okay. Hey, what? Only one person has it correct. 2 people. George Sand, Sonzi, Alina. Hello, Pedro. Mr. Foster, how's it going? Good job. Saska, you got it. Oh no, I've mixed up the answers now, guys. No, Saska, you didn't, sorry. It was B. Alina got it. Well done. And Mr. Foster. Amel, you got it. George Sand, you got it. Well done. No, Bino. It was C. I'm confusing me. It's this one. Because it used... No, oh my God. It's B. It's B, George Sand, you got it, yeah. On the condition that is the most formal option here. Funding will be approved on condition that the proposal satisfies the criteria. That's it. Okay, hi Amel. Sorry, Saska, sorry. False alarm there. Okay. August, love. Can you speak with a Scouse accent? No, I can't. I can't. Guys, if you don't know, a Scouse accent is the accent from Liverpool. I worked Liverpool. Alright, mate, I'm from Liverpool. Yeah, that's as much as I can say. Instead of saying Liverpool, they'll say Liverpool. Alright, mate, from Liverpool. Something like this. That's as much as I can say with the Scouse accent. JC, well, C comes after B, so I was close. Okay. Alright. Okay, number 8. Which sentence is incorrect? Which sentence is incorrect? A, as long as every department cooperates, the project will proceed smoothly. B, provided that all supporting documentation is submitted, the application will be processed. C, unless applicants don't satisfy the admission requirements, they will receive an offer. And D, if demand increases significantly, the company may recruit additional staff. Let me see. Irina, you're thinking C, it can be C as well. But the question was, Irina, the question was which one is the most formal? So on condition that is more formal than as long as. Do you understand, Irina? Do you get it? That was the reason that's the answer, because on condition that is more formal. You got it? Okay, cool. Super. Brilliant, guys. Well done. Sunzi, you got it. Alina, Madalena, well done. Cassia, Bloom, Vladi, well done. You all got it. Yeah, I think you haven't told the story. I haven't told the story about the Craic yet, Mr. Foster. I spent some time preparing it. It's ready. The story about the Craic is ready to go at the end of this. Okay? Irina, good job. Amel, good job. It was C. Yeah, because we can't have unless with don't. We have a double negative in that. Okay? Number 9. Which sentence uses the first conditional with inversion correctly? So, A, should the negotiations succeed, the merger proceeds immediately. B, should the negotiations succeed, the merger will proceed immediately. C, should the negotiations succeeded, the merger will proceed immediately. And D, should the negotiations will succeed, the merger proceeds immediately. What do you guys think? You're right on time, Mr. Foster. Right on time. On time or in time? I'm right in time. I'm right on time, probably. George Sand, you got it. Well done. You're on fire, George Sand. Well, okay, but not in a good way. In a good way, okay? Irina, you got it. Well done. LH, you got it. Cassia, good job. JCE is not an option. Amel, N is not an option either. Why? Why have you guys written down E and N? Amel, you got it. Alina, you got it. Well done. Okay, the answer was B. Should the negotiation succeed, the merger will proceed immediately. Fantastic. Okay. Now, this is the last question for these. Okay. Which sentence best completes the dialogue? So Kate says, do you think the company will expand into South America next year? LATAM. Guys, expand into, for all of you advanced speakers. Yeah, it's funny that both of you had JC and Amel both had a typo at the same time. And Jack says, it depends. A, if they secure sufficient investment, they expand into South America. B, if they had secured sufficient investment, they would expand into South America. C, if they secured sufficient investment, they will expand into South America. And D, if they secure sufficient investment, they will expand into South America. Let's see. Vladi, Sonzi, Irina, Cassia, Alina, Amel, you got it. Well done. It's D. If they secure sufficient investment, they will expand into South America. Good job. Hello, John Richards. LD, good job. Good job, Bloom. Well done. Super, guys. Good one. Okay. Now, I have a speaking in case anybody would like to practice. I think I had 4 questions or 5 questions in this one. I feel like I prepared 4. No, I prepared 5. I'm going to read the questions, and anybody who would like to participate, you can let me know. Okay, so at the beginning of class, I mentioned luring is difficult today. Luring is difficult today. Hello, Jean Richard. What do you mean luring is difficult today? Luring a person into the speaking, is it? George Hand, my brain is out of order. You did well in the last ones, George Sand. Okay. Guys, I showed you a Chinese proverb at the beginning of the class. It was, a crooked tree lives its own life, but a straight tree is turned into wood. What do you think this proverb means? Do you agree that people who are different often enjoy greater freedom than those who always conform? And I wrote there's a sample answer here, look. I think the proverb suggests that society often rewards people who conform because they are predictable and easier to manage. However, people who think independently frequently make the greatest contributions to society because they are willing to question accepted ideas. Many scientific discoveries and technological innovations began with someone challenging conventional wisdom. Conditional. If people constantly suppress their individuality, they will probably never reach their full potential. In my opinion, genuine progress depends on those who are prepared to think differently, even if they face criticism in the short term. I'm going to show you the picture that I really liked. Oh, let's see if I can find it quick. It was, oh yeah, I found it. Look, this was the picture that I saw. Can you see? So on the left, or I don't know how you're looking at it, this one here, this is the crooked tree, okay? And this is the straight tree. And the Chinese proverb says that if you're a straight tree, they're going to cut you down and make wood from you. Whereas if you're a crooked tree, nobody is going to make wood from you. George Hand, you like the straight tree, or you are a straight tree? And I thought it was really, really nice. I thought it was really a really, really nice one. The second one is many people believe that success depends more on luck than hard work. To what extent do you agree? You're straight, Georgian? Okay. Evolution, love, diversity. Yeah. Evolution loves diversity. Yes, it does. For sure. For sure. I think loose luck certainly plays a role in people's lives, but it usually creates opportunities rather than guarantees success. Most successful people have spent years developing their knowledge and skills before they were recognized. Conditional. If people consistently invest time and effort in improving themselves, they will usually be better prepared for when opportunities arise. Totally agree. Bego, you have your B2 exam tomorrow. Good luck. This will be good for you, the speaking. Bego, if you want to practice your speaking, you're so welcome. In my opinion, perseverance and discipline are far more reliable predictors of success than luck alone. Okay? Question 3. Many people argue that social media has changed the way we communicate. Do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So, I think social media has made communication faster and more accessible, especially for people who live in different countries. However, it has also encouraged more superficial interactions and made it easier for misinformation to spread. If people rely exclusively on social media for information, they will probably develop a limited understanding of complex ideas. Used responsibly, it can be an extremely valuable tool, but it should complement rather than replace genuine human interaction. Hello, Kat. Let me see. Hello, Sandu. You did your speaking today. That's awesome, Bego. Yeah, good job. Hello, Katya. Jordan, you took magnesium for your headache? Yeah? To relax a bit, no? Question 4. Oh, thanks, guys. Question 4. Some people believe that making mistakes is the best way to learn, while others think it is better to avoid mistakes whenever possible. Which opinion do you agree with? So, I strongly believe that mistakes are an essential part of the learning process. Whether someone is learning a language, starting a business, or developing a new skill, setbacks are almost inevitable. If people become afraid of making mistakes, they will probably avoid taking the risks that lead to personal growth. The important thing is not to avoid failure altogether, but to reflect on it, learn from it, and continue improving. Madalena, we used to live a happy life without social media in the past, though. Do you think so? Yeah? It's interesting. We are, I think, the last generation of people who are going to remember life before social media. It's interesting. Okay, and the last question is about trust. So trust appears to be becoming increasingly difficult to establish in modern society. Why do you think this is? And I wrote, modern society encourages people to communicate quickly, but not always deeply. Social media often presents an unrealistic image of people's lives, making authentic relationships more difficult to build. Conditional. If people communicate honestly and behave consistently over time, trust will develop naturally. Although technology allows us to stay connected more easily than ever before, genuine trust still depends on integrity, empathy, and mutual respect rather than convenience. Okay? Awesome. And then I have the story for today about Craic. Okay? But first, we have the opportunity for one person to do or practice their speaking. So, just for a few minutes, 5 minutes, right? 1 minute per question. Who would like to practice their speaking? Don't be shy. Give it a try. You know, the other day, do you remember Tosu? Well, I don't know if Tosu was here, but do you remember the other day, somebody saw Tosu's video and they said to me, oh my goodness, Vikki, I saw the video with Tosu and he was amazing. I'm putting pressure on you now, but yeah, he was really, really good if you guys were here. Let me see. Sandu, what is the best way to crack good bands in reading, for instance, Selpip? Okay, Luis is calling. Hello. Let's check Luis. Hey, Luis.
Hi, hello.
Hello. How are you?
My name is Luis.
Okay, where are you calling from?
I live in Belgium.
Yeah?
I'm from Spain.
Okay, which part of Spain are you from?
In Madrid. I very now in Madrid, but I live in Valencia. I was working in Valencia beginning with the January.
Okay, I love Valencia. Valencia is a fantastic. Yeah?
I the beach.
Yeah, the beach, exactly. And what about Belgium? How's life in Belgium?
Near with the capital.
Okay, in the capital of Belgium. And what are you doing in Belgium? Are you working or?
I am groom. I am take care with the horse.
Yeah? Oh wow! For
Yes, I am
yeah, okay.
driver. I go to the competition. I very funny.
Wow! Do you know, Luis? I used to ride horses.
Yes, I very like with the begin with the 60. I was 16 years old. They begin the take care the horses.
That's amazing. I would love to show you a picture.
Yes.
Oh yeah, look. Can you see?
Oh, amazing! The jumping horse is very good.
But this is me. This is Vikki.
Ah, Vikki, where is you doing with the jumping?
This was in Fontainebleau.
Something good.
Yeah, many years ago. That's so funny.
Very good, very good.
So
You are carry on with the competition?
No. Now I'm teaching. This was many in.
I teaching. I left the fall.
Okay, a fall. Yeah, okay. I had a fall too. Yeah. It's typical. You know.
Yes, typical jumping.
It happens. So, what do you think, Luis, about luck? Right? This was our question. Do you think that success is about luck or hard work?
Our work is very like.
Okay. So you think hard work is more important than luck?
Yes. For me, very like.
Yeah, it's very important. Okay. Yeah. I agree with you. I think luck, well, it happens, but it's more important to work hard. I think so. And what about then social media, Luis? Do you
Social media?
Yeah. So what are the good things and what are the bad things about social media? Do you know social media?
Social media, I don't know.
That's okay.
Social media.
Son los redes sociales. El Facebook,
okay.
Instagram.
Okay, social media are very important with the meet the people and the new business.
Business, yeah, it is.
It's very good. The new job and very business. It's very important with the people and new people.
Yeah, connections, no?
Yes, connection and the meet the people. I very like with the meet the people.
Yeah, okay.
I have possibility with the girlfriend and the moment no look.
Okay, that's good luck. Mucha suerte. Good luck.
Whatever you happen.
Yeah, let's see. You can tell us.
Yes.
You should go to a nice place. Go for a nice dinner, nice restaurant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then that's the good thing. So can you tell us like a negative thing about social media? Is there any like negative thing?
Only have negative with the begin with the 60 years old. I think with the begin 20 years old, I feel with the people the meet understand with the problem with the sex on the all the people, but the real.
Yeah. So you're saying you need to be responsible.
Yes, responsibility. Yes.
You need to be responsible with the social media. Yeah, okay. Maybe young people don't understand how to use social media responsibly. Maybe it's
Yes.
true. Okay.
Very important with the Europa and policeman. I pick out the people bad.
Yeah, it's true. With social media, the police can find criminals.
Yes, criminal. Yes.
It's true. This is a really good advantage. I didn't think about this one. Okay, now the next question is, what about making mistakes? Do you think making mistakes is like hacer errores? Making mistakes, do you think this is a good way for people to learn? Or should...
Yes, only people don't sleeping with the learning, only time with the begin with the learning English or learning Germany, because I think with the only time the replace when I began the learning, I don't left the learning only time.
Okay, you must continue with the learning, no?
Yes, I have only time the living and the listening the people.
Yeah.
Don't think with the learning in Spanish, learning English.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, don't just keep trying and don't stop.
I keep in only time. Don't have possibility with the learning.
Yes, it's good.
When I begin with the learning English, I was living in Germany. Only time the people and the speak English for me. I only time the Monday, Sunday, the learning only time. One day, the rest.
Okay, yeah. So you were working every day. Only one day off.
I think the begin with the bad day. I cry only time, but you have continued the carry on. You have learning a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree. So yeah,
I agree. Yes, I was crying with the beginning with the day.
I understand you, Luis. I understand you perfectly. But you must carry on. I like your phrasal verb. You have to continue. Carry on, continue, be consistent. That you're very... So, Luis, you live...
Don't give up with the learning.
Yes, it's good. And so, Luis, you lived in Madrid, Valencia, Germany, and Belgium.
Yeah, and I was living in the January one years in the Italy.
Wow. Okay.
6 months only time when I go to the competition, the Holland.
Okay, Holland. Oh, Holland. Yeah, they have a lot of competition. They have good horses.
The last years.
Yeah.
Only time with the trip. Very light with the learning. I don't left with the learning.
Yeah.
When
Never
I
stop
left
learning.
with the learning, the begin, you forget.
Yeah, totally. You must continue. Yeah, you have to continue. And at the beginning, you forget. It's absolutely true. What about then our last question, Luis? It's about trust. Trust means in Spanish confianza.
Grasmin, you only have the problem. When you have one problem, you learning, you not forget. You only forget when I don't problem, when I don't no use the English. I forget when I will go to the bank, when I save my money. I cry with the in front of the people. I don't forget with the learning. I experience with the begin with the learning when I have to go to the send my money.
Sunday morning, what's that?
I
Sending
have
the money. When you had to send the money. Yes. Okay.
Send the money. Sorry.
That's okay. Send. Good job.
Send.
Yeah.
Will send with me my money. I cry. Don't say. I don't cry.
Okay. Good job. So, do you speak other languages in Belgium, Luis? Is it normally...
No, only I have the begin with the 3 years old.
Okay.
I don't well at the moment, but only time the listening and the speed and the living and the sleep.
Yes, okay. So, how many horses do you have at the moment?
I have my boss. I have 6 horses at the moment.
Wow, and is it for jumping, Luis? Saltar?
Yes, jumping. I have professionality with the jumping horse.
Wow! And do you go to competitions in different countries?
Yes, I different country with the Holland and Germany and the Belgium.
Okay, like a circuit, un circuito, no? Internacional.
Yes, circuito.
Wow,
Circuit.
the circuit.
Circuit.
Wow. And
Yes.
which is your favorite place to go to competitions?
I very only city is very well. I very high the people this Europa.
Yeah, okay, I imagine. And what ¿qué altura? What height are the fences?
What high?
1,60 m o
115.
1,50.
115, yes.
1 meter 50 centimeters, the fences.
Yes.
Wow.
Más o menos.
Wow. Luis, who are the best jinetes, the best jockeys in the world for you?
En Spain, Sergio Álvarez Moya, Eduardo Álvarez Aznar, Mariano Bastida, Albert Hermoso.
Wow.
I have more people in Spain the competition.
And which country? ¿Qué país? Germany or
Madrid, Spain. Only people Spain.
Oh, okay. And what about Irish people? Porque los irlandeses también saltan, ¿no? Irish, I think Irish people are good, ¿no?
En Europa tenemos mucho tipo de personas.
In English,
Personas.
yeah, many people. I think
in Europa, I have more people professionality with the sell the horse and the buy the horse.
Okay. Yeah.
I have more say and the trip and I have more trailer. I have more the say the people.
Yeah.
The rich the people they living with the horse.
Yeah, perfect. That's awesome. That's amazing, Luis. It's your job
Amazing.
is fantastic.
Thank you so much. I very like with the thing for you.
Yes, I like too. We're really happy to have you. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you so much for participating. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye, Luis. Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later. Guys, that was so awesome. That was really amazing with Luis. We never had like a horse professional before, right? That's so cool. Let me catch up on the comments because we have a lot of comments here. Oh my god, there's too many comments maybe. You said call me an ambulance, George Sand. Let me see. Okay, the chat was going crazy here. Let me see. George Sand cannot speak right now, you said. So, oh gosh, there's a lot of comments, guys. Okay, George, you took magnesium, that's good. Let me see here. We didn't this opportunity. Irina, so we didn't take this opportunity to learn English. Bego, do you have any advice for the B2 listening part 2? Bego, sometimes people close their eyes and only listen the first time and then do the answer. That's one thing that works for some people. Madalena, definitely we used to go out for everything. Okay, my brain needs something sweet. The key to success, I agree, Irina. Irina says the key to success is consistency. I agree 100%, 150%. Koba, hello Koba. I can't speaking now. There's a song. I can't speaking English. Something like this. Hello Zed. Hello Luis van de Rubiales. Luis, are you alive? Okay. Felicidades Luis for winning the World Cup. Yes, okay, JC. Madalena, exactly. I love to, like, you guys who have the courage to call, you are the best, you know? And also, it's so interesting to speak to different people, you know? And to speak, Luis is a groom. If you guys understand the word groom, Groom, that's his job. So he's traveling all around Europe and living in Belgium now, working as a groom. Not a jockey, JC, he's a groom. JC, horses are smart and loving animals. They absolutely are, yeah. Let me see. Hello, Denny. This is not a beginner class, Denny. Sorry about that. Georgetown, call me an ambulance. Hey. Okay. JC, as a kid, success was to have all A's on your scorecards. Yeah, JC. Hello, Sabirina. Social media is my neighbor from Ghana. Social media has a great effect on me because I can learn English here anytime. Yeah, Irina, totally agree. As a young adult, having a job, traveling and becoming independent is success. Nice one, JC. For as an adult, having a family and having a family, JC, and raising kids. If you put and, the verb must be in the same form before and after and. As an adult, having a family and raising kids to become productive humans is successful, is a success. Irina agrees. Hello, Tap. Hi. Some girls are responsible on social media, okay? Yeah, some girls are irresponsible, George Sands. I like how confident Luis is. Absolutely, Mr. Foster. He's fantastic. His personality comes through in his the way he speaks, so nice. Make mistakes. Guerrera is that one. 5. But for many nowadays, the more followers, the merrier. Yeah. I personally think it's quality over quantity, JC, as regards followers, you know. You can also buy followers if you want. Mr. Foster, I don't know why, but he reminds me of the characters. Yeah? There's streams for speed. George Sand, Luis is the best. He never gives up. He said a lot of really nice things today. Never give up. And especially I love how he spoke about learning. And what he said, when you are a foreigner living in a different country, with a different language, it's very emotional. And for sure I have been in situations where I have cried, and many situations where I have wanted to cry, you know. So I totally understand Luis, and I think Luis is very brave and open also for telling us that he felt like that, you know, because some people, they don't tell you. So then if you feel like crying, you feel like a freak, but actually I think it's totally normal. Many successful people failed before they achieved their success. Absolutely. Now, Guerrera, I saw this comment and I was afraid to answer it because I don't know who that person is. Okay. Mr. Foster would give up. Luis used it correctly. Excuse me, teacher, fix the board, please. Hello, Jean-Richard. What's wrong with the board? JC. Okay. Let me see. Cool. Okay. 6 horsepower, yeah. Que personaje, exactly. Love it. Mr. Foster, remind me about this. I can make a video about this, guys, because I think it's a good point. The difference between give up and give in. Give up, give in. Mr. Foster, I'm going to make a video on this, okay? Because I think that's a really good one. Because there's a big difference between giving up and giving in. Hi, Wilson! You're from Alaska, Wilson. Really? That's amazing. I've never spoken to somebody from Alaska. I vote that Wilson should do the next speaking. Our community just teared up. What does that mean? La femme fatale. Thank you for your story. Okay. He's so nice. Semiguis? Of course you can try. Anybody can try. Crazy because the teacher was not checking just the regular classroom. Yeah, the classic one totally correctly. Hey! Luis, TGB, thank you. Okay, something happened there with Luis and TGB. Yeah, okay, awesome. Wilson is calling. Oh my god, I have to answer. Normally only one person, but we have to speak with Wilson. Oh my gosh. I should try to... Yeah, story time then. Hello, Wilson.
Hey.
Hey!
How you doing, teacher?
Hello, Wilson! This is so exciting. I've never spoken to somebody from Alaska before.
Yeah. I'm Spanish. I'm from Nicaragua. I was born in Nicaragua, but I'm here in USA. I've been probably 7 years, and I don't remember.
And why did you decide to go to Alaska from Nicaragua?
My family, my friend, my brother.
They decided to go. And what's life like in Alaska? Like what do you do every day?
Example, after this streaming with you, I'm gonna go to work at a foundry. Around 7 years, I'm working as a machine operator.
Okay, in a foundry. And what's going on in the foundry? What type of metal is it?
Metal. Do you know the metal?
Is it like iron, like hierro or cobre or
Iron.
Iron, yeah, founder, Claire, okay.
Yeah, this is different. Yeah, because there are different competence. Example, metal and I don't know. There are a lot of competence now.
Okay, and you're doing iron. That's right. And what's the weather like in Alaska?
Now is the weather is different. Now it's more hot. Just I'm waiting probably 3 months for the snow now. Probably in November or December.
November, December, the snow. George Sand hears that the snow is coming in December or November. Amazing. Yeah. And do you miss Nicaragua or are you happy in Alaska?
I miss my country, probably this. I try this December to Nicaragua because I'm gonna visit my family, my friends, and the next year I'm gonna trip to London. I like your English; it's very real. There's not I'm not sure. Your English is more differently like this American citizen.
It's a different accent from America for
yeah,
sure.
Different accent. Yeah, you use different connect. You use the citizen gringos and example England, London, right?
Yeah, mine is more British English. It's true.
Yeah, more British English. I like it.
That's it. So in the first question here, right? Did you see the proverb I wrote? It says, "A crooked tree lives its own life, but a straight tree is turned into wood." What did you understand from this proverb?
For that speech, I don't know, I'm not sure.
It's kind of like it's about individuality. Look at this one here, right? Do you think that people should try to be similar to other people in their community, or should people try to be individual?
Mm, depend, depend the people. Some people are different. Some people, I don't know how can I explain about that question. Example, depend the focus, depend the position. I mean, no one is. I'm different with different people. I'm more. I got my goal for this year. Example, uh, I need to improve my English, my score. I need more improve my comprehension. I want to know more first about mixing what I'm going to say with teacher. Example, this is my focus. More learn English, more learn more vocabulary.
Awesome. Okay. And then I think if you improve your English, you can express yourself, your who you are better. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay. The next question then is: do you think that success depends on luck or on hard work?
More hard work.
So
If you wanna fix in your life, for example, your own company, your own business, your bank account, you need more hard work. Depend what I doing for your life.
And what about in the foundry? How many hours do you work per day, for example?
Now depend. This summer is different because there are a lot job more busy per hour. I'm gonna work now 10 hours or 12 depend. And this weekend I gotta work overtime for 6 or 8 hours. Now I'm working for the week 5 hours. It's better, more money for me, more money. Makes sense.
So you'll take the overtime, yeah. Okay, and
Yeah.
then you'll have money to travel to Europe next year, or travel to Nicaragua in December.
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay. And then what about, Wilson, social media? So do you think social media has more advantages or more disadvantages?
More advantages. I
Yeah.
don't like the social media. I use more my social media for practice my English
Okay.
skills. And sometimes I post my photo, my goals make sense, but depend whatever. No, sometimes everybody use the example the picture photo for podcast, for talk, or for join with different friends or talk with different persons.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's and do you think there's any negatives about social media? So you can learn, you said, you can speak with your friends, make new friends, and any disadvantages?
I got a lot of friends with social media, example Facebook, Instagram, now this TikTok. I talk with my daughter, she's living in Spain, Madrid.
Okay.
She lives in Spain. I'm talk with my daughter. Depend on how can you use your social media.
Okay. Depends how you use it. Exactly. Exactly. It totally
Yeah.
depends how you use it. Yeah. I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, I want to tell you about. I never learned English. I never went to school. Just I learned. I talk for myself. Something like use YouTube, Netflix, and use the subtitle. Practice my English, my skills, and practice with music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Wilson. Music is really good as well, I think, for your pronunciation. Because when we
Yeah.
learn to sing, I noticed that people who use music to learn English, their pronunciation is very good. So it's
Yeah.
true. And what about then, Wilson, making mistakes? Do you believe that making mistakes is a good way to learn, or do you think we should avoid evitar making mistakes?
It's good because if you don't, you need to mistake. Back in the day when I speak with different person, I mistake my pronunciation. Example, in the British, you say water and the water. In
Yeah.
English, they say water, right?
Yeah, it's
Example.
yeah.
And when the first day I saw, I remember I remember I spoke water, and they say, hey, you are not breathing, you need to practice. Someone friend he lives in Chicago, please use water, not water.
I know. I would
Yeah.
say water. And they say water. Yeah, water.
Let's see that. Example, the person girl is right. She's right because you need to mistake. That is the process.
Yeah, get
If
it
you
out.
don't mistake, you can learn right. You can learn English.
Totally agree. And I think
I agree.
the worst are the people who are not trying. They're not making an effort, and then they say bad things about the people who are trying. Oh, you made a mistake. Oh, you look ridiculous.
Yeah,
Oh,
for me,
you.
after married, it's big important in my life because you need don't scare if you want to speak with different person, example British, citizen gringos, or depend.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, Wilson. Totally agree. Yeah. You
Where
have
you
to
live,
try.
teacher?
Hmm?
Where you live, teacher?
Where do I live? I live in Spain.
Oh,
Same as
okay,
your
okay. Ah,
daughter. Yeah.
congratulations for the World Cup.
Oh yeah, okay.
Congratulations. Yeah.
We were honestly. Did you watch it? Did you watch the World Cup?
Yeah, the last Sunday watching Spain went to Argentina. Sorry for the Messi, Leo Messi.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I felt we were. This is us. We were watching with my look. We were watching here with the Spanish
Where's the
flag.
place?
What?
Where is that place?
This place was in Ireland.
Oh,
Yeah, we were because last week I was in Ireland, so we were watching from the pub in Ireland. So it was really good.
Now I'm enjoying your community. I'm watching your videos and now your social media and just TikTok. Okay, I'm following you now.
That's cool. That's awesome. And we have one more question, right? It's about trust. Trust is in Spanish confianza. So yeah. So do you think with your friends and your family and this, do you think it's difficult or easier to have trust with people in your life?
Well, I'm not trusting no one because no one is not giving you got problem issue in your life. Depend. Example, if you need money, no one is here for help. I believe just only God, the person for my life.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Actually. That's really cool. You need to trust yourself and trust in someone if it's God or yeah. It's true. Because I think people make mistakes too, don't they? You know, so
Sometimes my family speak different country. Just speaking for me for money. Hey, my friend, do you have money? Just I don't want to talk with that person or for those person.
okay.
You know.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that was so awesome. Wilson, right? Is your first name?
Yeah, welcome.
Wilson?
No,
Yeah.
my first name is Anthony.
Anthony, oh, such a nice name. It's a lovely name. It was so great to talk to you. Thank you so much for
I
participating.
appreciate that.
Okay?
I don't know what is my label, but I wanna talk with you to privately. I'm gonna speak in your TikTok, okay?
Yeah, no problem. You can send
Okay.
you can send me a message anytime. Okay? We
I
have
got that.
we have a WhatsApp group as well. If you want to be in the WhatsApp group.
And this speech, I feel more that is level more D2 and C1, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
there's 0, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2.
okay.
Okay? Those are the more or less the levels.
You're
Okay.
good. I got you. I'm looking for some teacher for me because it's very more speaking. If you don't speak more, you cannot learn English. Make sense? Okay.
I agree. I think it's the same for me with Spanish. It's like exercise. You know, you
Yeah.
can't get fit unless you actually exercise. And I think I can't speak Spanish unless I'm actually speaking with people. You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's the same. It's like that. You actually, it's a physical thing. You need to physically practice it. You know.
Yeah,
So
after this day, one more day, no, two more days for the work because there is a lot of job now this week. I need to make money because I need to get my own company and I need I need to buy my ticket for the next travel this December.
that's awesome. That's really, really cool. It's good to have goals. Okay. Thank you so much, Wilson. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Talk to you later. Take
Okay.
care.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Anthony. Bye, bye. Bye, bye. Awesome, guys. We've had 2 speakings today. I'm so happy. You guys are wonderful. We had Luis and we had Anthony. So now people are getting braver, eh? Some people are getting braver. Let me see. What's it? You all know. Do you remember when women's Spanish team won the World Cup? Rubiales kiss, of course. Ay! Okay, Jaglat, what most I remember, Guerrera. I remember the scandal. I was speaking about this last week. Yeah, that was so interesting, wasn't it? But why did you want to ask him if I knew who she was? If he knew who she was? Let me see. Okay, everybody's ready for story time, no? I think everybody's ready for story time. So let me see. Did I miss? Sorry, guys, I can't keep up there with the. Yeah, Guerrero, we loved what you said. People without self-confidence tend to follow others instead of their own thinking. Absolutely. Values and desires, totally agree. I'm guilty of it myself, in fact. I'm guilty of it myself. It's something I'm actively working on. Making mistakes is part of the learning process. Totally agree. Mr. Foster, I hold the view, nice way to say I hold the view, that it's much better to avoid making mistakes, but that's not always an option. Yeah, I do make a lot of mistakes, but I think when I make a mistake, usually that's when I learn and I get a bit more forward. If I'm too afraid to make a mistake, I don't take a step and then I don't get anywhere. But at least if I make the mistake and I fall down, I'm a bit more ahead of where I was when I started. And I learned something. So I would be one to make mistakes, you know. Is there a good salary in Alaska, George Sand? I didn't know. Cassia, when you make a mistake, you remember longer about them. Yeah, you consider them. I agree. Lamai, you don't feel sorry for Messi. Wagner, Spain champion. Yeah. In God we trust, George Sands. Yeah. Hello, Andina. Muy buenas. Wilson from the movie Castaway, JC. Anthony Wilson is a hero because he's living in Alaska. He is a hero. Andina, you can just call, but we're finished now for today. You are Spanish, yeah? Bienvenida. Y por eso me dice some of the mistakes can be very expensive. As man again, yeah. I mean, it's true. It depends what kind of mistakes we're talking about. He says, or she, sometimes mistakes can be very expensive. Be careful. I mean, this is true. So you are right, Mr. Foster. I mean, it's also like we have to be prudent, you know. It's true. Hello, Nabs. Nabs, we were doing the first conditional. Soy malagueña. I don't know what malagueña means. Is that Malaga? You are from Malaga. Okay, I had a slow moment. That's awesome. Malaga is wonderful. Spanish Speakers Day. Yeah. Okay, guys. So, are you ready for the story? Or are we still here? This is not going to be so long, eh? She's from Malaga. Yes, okay, it's not so long. But we had a request for this story. Mr. Foster reminded me that I promised to tell this story. So I did prepare it. And yeah, we'll be up to 2 hours today. But JC, you had a senior moment. Too much running, I think. Okay, so today's story, the word is about crack. Okay, so the history of crack. Now, spelt in in Irish English, it is spelled C-R-A-I-C, but it's pronounced like crack. Crack. The history of crack is one of the biggest surprises in Irish English because it isn't originally an Irish word at all. I didn't know that. Alejandro, you passed your exam. Well done. Good job. That's amazing. We're really proud of you. Well done. So, the word crack existed in Northern England and Scotland as early as the 16th century. It meant conversation, gossip, news, fun, or entertainment. Okay, this was the meaning. Scottish and English settlers brought the word to Ulster. So Ulster is Northern Ireland. So Scottish and English settlers brought it to Ulster, where it became common in everyday speech. In the 20th century, Irish speakers borrowed the English word crack into the Irish language. Because Irish spelling follows different rules, it became Craic. C-R-A-I-C. Belfast exactly is in Ulster, JC. You were living there, weren't you? Lamai, Irish would say good crack. Hummus, yeah, they would, good crack. But they would say C-R-A-I-C instead of C-R-A-C-K. It sounds like a Norwegian word, you think so? Okay. So later, the Irish spelling became so popular that people started using crack in English as well, especially from the 1960s onwards. So we took this word and we made it famous, okay? So the journey was crack, C-R-A-C-K, English Scots, to crack, C-R-A-I-C, Irish, to crack, Irish English. Nabs, let's go to Ireland. Today, crack means, so what does it mean? Today, crack means much more than just fun. It refers to the whole atmosphere of a good time. Lively conversation, laughter, music, good company, a great atmosphere. Guerrera, I know you are waiting to say in Spain that we use crack also. I'm going to get to that at the end, okay? That's why you'll hear expressions like, what's the crack, okay? Lamai, here you go. What's going on or how are things is what it means. Any crack, any news, anything interesting happening. What the crack meaning does. That's what, okay. What the crack means, what's happening. What's the crack? They're not asking about gossip, they're asking if there's good fun, good company and a good atmosphere. For example, the pub was great crack. The pub had a fantastic atmosphere. Okay? So, now, we had brilliant crack last night. We had an amazing time. Okay, so this is your intro. Now I'm going to tell you my funny story. Okay? You make me feel like you're always on my mind. I know that you were thinking this. Guerrera, were you or were you not thinking? In Spain, we also use the word crack, Vikki. And I know you were going to write me something. And then I went, yeah. Today, I said, okay, yeah. Ondina, no problem. We said the way it sounded. Okay, no, the spelling was different. I learned something new every day. Yeah, Lamai, spelled different spelling. Okay, so, now, what happens? When I was 15 or 16, I think 15, right? Maybe 16. When I was 15 or 16, my school organised an exchange for us to go to Holland. So, a group of Irish teenagers, including me, we had like a friend in Holland and we went to on a trip. Before we went on the trip, our teachers said to us, okay guys, they picked our partner. So I had a girl called Anjani. She was so nice. Her best friend was Priya and my best friend at the time had Priya. So like, we were two Irish friends and that we were matched. Our teacher put us with the two Dutch friends. So before going on the trip, we needed to write a letter to our friends. So in my letter, I was, Dear Anjani, my name is Vikki. I'm so excited to go to Holland and to spend 1 week with your family, blah, 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 blah. And in the letter, I wrote, I hope we will have some good crack. So I wrote, I hope, more or less, I hope we will have some good crack. Okay? I wrote this in my letter. So, I sent my letter to Anjani. What happened? Anjani received this letter, and immediately she reported my letter to her mother. Her mother then telephoned her school in the middle of the night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So the teachers, the mother in Holland telephoned the teachers in Holland, who then telephoned my teachers in the middle of the night. The next day, we were supposed to fly to Holland. And they said to the teacher, do not allow this girl to fly to Holland. She cannot come here because she is looking for Craic. So my teacher was on the phone. She was like, what did she say? Like, and the teacher said, oh, this girl, she can't come here. It's very bad. And the teacher said, what did she say in the letter? So they saw that I had said, looking for, I can't wait to have some good Craic. And my teacher said, oh my God. So Craic for Irish people means fun, to have a good time, to laugh a lot, enjoy yourself. But in Holland, it has a completely different meaning, okay? So in Holland, right, Craic in the Netherlands does not have the same meaning as Irish Craic. In Dutch, Craic usually means crack cocaine. In Dutch, means crack cocaine. So Dutch people do not use Craic to mean fun. Okay? Absolutely not. Conversation or good atmosphere. Yeah, it means cocaine. So these people thought that this 16-year-old Irish girl was going to Holland and she was looking forward to having crack cocaine when she was there. So when I finally, my teacher clarified this, right? They all knew, but she never told me. So we arrived to Holland. I didn't know about this story. And all of the Dutch children were on one side and all of the Irish children were on the other side. And our teacher was at the top, no? And she was like, okay, Priya with Maria and Angelica with Claire. And then they said, Anjani and Vikki, and everybody started laughing. Everybody, and all the parents, all the children, everybody started laughing. And I was like, hello? Do I have something on my face? Or do they think my hairstyle is funny? Or what's going on? But yeah. So after this, I asked, why is everybody laughing? Or why did everybody start laughing? And they explained to me what had happened. So yeah, when I found out after this, after everybody was laughing, after all of this presentation, I asked, why did everybody start laughing when I stood up? When they called out my name? You know, and they told me what had happened. So yeah, you need to be careful with this word, okay? So the history of the word is connected to Dutch in a more distant way. The English verb to crack means to split or to make sharp noise, is related to the Dutch word kraken, which means to crack, creak or break. Both words come from the same Germanic roots, okay? So that's the thing, right? And if you want to know, maybe I shouldn't say this, but powdered is processed with baking soda and water to form hard rock crystals, and when the crystals are heated, they crack. So this is why this is called crack. Yeah, so the verb came from English, but it's different. So the crack drug is named from the cracking sound that it makes when it's heated, and crack in Irish is a fun atmosphere. Also, in Spain, we say eres un crack. When a Spaniard says eres un crack, they're not using the Irish crack, they're not referring to the drug either. This comes directly from English. In English, particularly the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a crack player, meant someone who is exceptionally skilled or outstanding at something. For example, a crack shot, an excellent marksman. So the adjective crack meant like first rate or elite, and Spanish borrowed this meaning today, and they say like eres un crack means you are brilliant, he is amazing, Messi es un crack, Messi, it means Messi is a phenomenal player in Spanish. You were popular. I was really popular, yeah. Don't ban Vikki. I hope not. I hope I don't get banned. I was thinking of this when I was writing it. Yeah, so it was quite funny. It was quite funny. Knack as well, to have a knack for something. Mr. Foster, okay, well, crack. Oh my goodness, Irina, okay, I should probably not mention this, right? I wonder if Vikki included this, so I didn't have to remind her. I did, I included it. I specifically thought that you would remind me of this. I'm sure you would have told me this, no? So the first one is okay, so I'm going to stop saying this word, right? Because Irina is correct, actually. I should not say this word probably on TikTok. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. So it has been a super amazing class, really long. I didn't expect it to be this long, but you know, I had a great time with you guys. So there we go. Alright. Okay, so I hope you guys have a lovely Thursday. The rest of your evening. What time is it? Yeah. Dinner time now. You see everything, I know. You're so welcome, Mr. Foster. You see my flamenco shirt? I have worn this to El Rocio twice. Eh? I can show you more photos. I won't search for them now, will I? I have worn this to El Rocio twice. This exact shirt. You're welcome, Barbie. It's a pleasure. I enjoyed a lot. Okay? So the video, Zura. I'm good, thank you. You're welcome, Arrow. Awesome, JC. Thanks for being here. Okay? Yeah, it was great fun. I didn't receive your form yet. I'm gonna look. I was reading one of the forms today. Honestly, Guerrera, I'm not sure how, because I saw that people have replied, but I don't know how to change from one form to the other. I looked today and I saw one, but I couldn't change the next form. I need to ask ChatGPT, but I'm really looking forward to reading them. JC, you would like another scary story? Okay. Okay, I will take these requests. I take them seriously, eh? You're welcome, Cassia. Good crack today, miss? Alright, Lama, yeah, it was good crack. It was good crack. You're welcome, George Sands. We had a brainstorm, yeah. Which form? JC, there's a form going around. If you would like to, how can I, Guerrera was helping me with this, honestly, but right now I am too slow to get the form. I can send the form. I will send the form to you, JC. If send me a message and I will send you the form. It's a project that we're doing. Share the link with JC Vikki. Okay. Yes, I will. Figure out how I can do that. I will share the link. Anybody who wants to participate can participate. It's yeah, we're doing a little project. Okay. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Have a great day, or great rest of your evening. Alright, guys, it's easy this time. No need to copy and paste every time. Yeah, you're so good, Greg. Thanks so much for the tip. Bye, Madalena. Anybody who wants to participate, you can participate. I'll send you the link for the form. Alright, Juan Carlos, no prob. You're welcome, Madalena. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.